Ever wondered what it's like to work for a game studio? Good, you're in the right place. This video will help answer some of your burning questions. Just please don't ask if it involves being paid to play video games all day. The answer is no, by the way. As we are a smaller game studio, we'll take you through what it's like to work for us, from how we collaborate as a team to how we make enough money to employ people. But who is this mysterious we? Well, let's kick things off by explaining who we are. We are Auroch Digital, a smallish game studio based in Bristol in the UK. We've been around since 2010 and love to make management, strategy and simulation games, especially ones that are informed by real-world science, politics and history. As well as developing our own original games, we work with solo developers and other small studios to publish their games. We also do work for hire projects outside of games, which keeps our work varied and interesting. Auroch Digital is full of passionate gaming and tabletop fans, which is useful for making the games we do, but it also brings us closer outside of work. We have a miniatures painting group that everyone in the studio is invited to join, no matter their skill, as you can tell from the ranging quality of our collection. The sloppy miniatures sit proudly right next to the ones that have been beautifully painted. Outside of this, we meet up in person to play tabletop games and war games, and we also have online game nights on the last Friday of every month. One of our original games is Mars Horizon, a simulation strategy game where you manage a space agency, assume the role of mission control, and guide humanity to Mars. We partnered with the European Space Agency to create Mars Horizon, which means we get to work with real-life rocket scientists to make it as authentic as possible. Very exciting. We even had legendary astronaut Tim Peake play it on the official Xbox On channel, and he said it was a great game and a brilliant insight into what it takes to run a space agency. We couldn't be any prouder. Another of our original games is Brewmaster, a home brewing simulator which lets you create your perfect beer. It uses a realistic chemistry simulation to brew everything from hoppy IPAs to creamy stouts. Working as a publisher has seen us bring successful games onto console, including the fishy fun aquarium management game Meg Aquarium and adorable robot city builder The Colonists. We've also worked with beloved classics and cult games from the likes of Steve Jackson and Games Workshop. Ogre is our official adaptation of the legendary war game from Steve Jackson Games, and Dark Future Blood Red States is our own take on the 80s Games Workshop board game. And no, it's not a driving game. It's a strategy game, okay? Auroch Digital is a small and friendly studio where everyone gets on well with each other. There is no dividing line between disciplines, as all of our work is connected and we value each sector equally. We have strong communications between all departments, which means we have a lot of respect and understanding of each other's roles, which in turn helps us make amazing games. We have lots of ways we stay connected, including Slack, Discord, and Asana. We have regular team and company meetings, as well as in-person meetups and social events. Auroch Digital has a strong anti-crunch culture. The mental and physical well-being of our team is really important to us. As a studio, we're committed to continually improving the ways we work to ensure we do not crunch, and we'll continue striving to make our studio and culture the best it can be. One of the things we do to combat crunch is having thorough production methods for our games to make sure we can complete all the work we need to in a fair time frame. We also make sure that all of the work is accounted for, including meetings, polish, planning, and bug fixing. If unexpected meetings or other work comes in, we organise workloads to cover this rather than expect team members to manage this outside of hours. As we are a small studio, we are able to be flexible and understanding with each other. We absolutely do not believe crunch is necessary to make games. In fact, we've proven it. Everyone's voice and point of view is important at Auroch Digital, so much so that we send around internal surveys to gather feedback to improve how we run as a company, covering all areas from hiring to workflow. Our culture is also anti-blame too. Things go wrong in development, especially as we're doing innovative stuff. When it does go wrong, we encourage people to share what happened, and not with a view of finding a culprit, but with an understanding that by knowing where an issue was, we can work together to stop a similar issue happening again. This is how we grow. Together. Anyone can message management, including our studio director, if they have issues or a question, and they will be listened to. We recognise that each person at the studio brings a different personal history and individual perspective to what we do. We respect and support each other, and this makes Auroch Digital a wonderful place to work. Job progression and security are important to you, so they're important to us. But how do we guarantee that? The short answer is by diversifying where we make money. It means there is less pressure on each of our original games to be a huge success. We take pride in investing in our team's progression and happiness. It's why we have a training fund available to all staff after 2 years and also offer sabbaticals. At Auroch Digital, you can work where you want. Prior to COVID, we were all based in our Bristol studio. However, during the pandemic, we started to work from home, and as a company, we adapted extremely well to this. When we were looking at how we would work after the pandemic, we surveyed staff to find out whether they preferred being office-based or if they preferred working from home. We let our staff choose a dynamic that suits them best, and thanks to that survey, most of them are now working remotely. We still use our newly renovated studio in Bristol for meetings, training and social events, and storing all of our board games and miniatures, of course. For more information on working at Auroch Digital, please contact jobs@aurochdigital.com. To keep up to date with our games and what the studio is up to, make sure to follow us on socials and join our Discord.